apart from sika any evidence para okwa oka say o bi wo oku bi abẹ 50 na ẹwọ so ntumi yẹ kẹnkun ní ọma no yasẹn o si o nam wọ structure wey wọ so o so bẹkọ na pii ẹyẹdẹ ẹnu wọ o nso ni video o ni hwi akọkọ akọkyerẹ kọ sẹ na biribi sẹ esi o eti ẹyẹba saa no na lawyer mi nso bọ kama si mama ama na ayẹ ni asẹ o case yẹ strong saa na afọ wunya wafọ eti nneɛma pii wɔ hɔ a megye sɛ commission no ɔmo educate communities no mu anaasɛ ɔmo bɛn communities no mu a bɛboa ama ɔmo atumi edi ɔmo dwumadi bafo naa no deɛ yɛsusu sɛ ɔmo response no enuru sɛnea ɛkɔ community no ɛhwehwɛ.
Was your question related to what he asked? Anyway, just to add that the grant of mineral rights, usually from the Minerals Commission, comes with some conditions. And certainly the license will always contain what the company is supposed to do and what the company cannot do, expressly stated in the license. Okay. The question has always been whether or not beyond the grant of that license, what is the role of the Minerals Commission to the company that is operating. If you look to the law, and as he said, the Minerals Commission still holds all the grievance mechanisms. That if a company either breaches some of the provisions of the license, it is the Minerals Commission that is supposed to hold the company responsible. And depending upon the stage of the process, whether it is reconnaissance, prospective, or the licenses, there are renewals to these licenses. So the extent to which the company fulfills the conditions of the license will be triggers to the grant of the renewal in any event. But we've had situations where sometimes, for want of convenience, the Minerals Commission would want to say, no, we are not beyond granting licenses. We are not responsible for most of the things, or if not all, the things that the company is doing. And we had an opportunity as the center to litigate a matter of this nature. And the case was the Center for Public Interest Law against the Bonte Gold Mine, Minerals Commission, and the Environmental Protection Agency. This was a case that Bonte Gold Mine was giving a minerals concession in Bonte Soup. Those of you from the Ashanti region, you would know. And the company carried out these operations for a very long time, excavated the environment just like what Auntie Hannah was showing us here, didn't pay compensation to many farmers, owed so much electricity, accumulated bills, did not post a bond, which is a kind of a money that is supposed to be set aside under the watch of the Environmental Protection Agency. So when the company should terminate its operation without reclaiming, Environmental Protection Agency can fall on that money to carry out reclamation. So at the time, Bonte Gold Mines, which was a subsidiary of Akrokere Gold Mine, which was incorporated in Canada, operated this mine, left all these distractions, these unpaid bills, unpaid compensation, and several pumps in Bonte Soup and Comet. So we instituted this action against the company because the company had then undertaken a winding up process for proceedings in the court. And the winding up process started because the company was now under the auspices of the Registrar General to liquidate the company, and all this were outstanding. So when we instituted this case against Bonte Gold Mine, EPA, and Minerals Commission. But Minerals Commission claim was that their responsibility was only to grant mining licenses. And beyond that, it was not their responsibility to supervise how they were operating this license and how the companies were performing in this. And that was the responsibility, particularly if it leads to environmental matters, that was the responsibility of EPA. But well, just to cut a long story short, the court also reviewed that Mineral Commission cannot shirk its responsibility and remain in it after the grant of land, the mineral license, that they have done responsibility to ensure that the conditions of the license are adhered to by every company. And so, if the conditions of the license is to pay compensation, is to ensure that they pay their utility bills, is to ensure that they post and do not reclaim the environment and all that. If they fail to do so, they had a responsibility to ensure that that was being done. EPA also claimed that, well, they were trying to monitor the situation to ensure that the company posts the bonds. But the company keeps sending them distress message that they were in distress, and so they should give them some time to pay the bond. And because of that distress, they were giving them allowances up to the point that they also got to realize that the company that they are undertaking winding that proceedings and ended its operation. So they to them were not negligent in ensuring that the company did not prosper. But the court said, no, you have the responsibility, duties proposed of you to do so. And so this particular case provides us with concrete evidence that state agencies that grant licenses have the responsibility to ensure that the licenses are compliant. The extent to which they do so is also another story that we can tell in another time, and then why they are able to do so, we can talk about. But I think going forward in this particular case, I would note by now that EPA would have done the right thing with the existing mining companies that we have right now in terms of their updates with the posting of the bond. But we, as the Central we have not found any cause to have to engage Minerals Commission on the issue of their responsibility. And then we believe that we, as the people, do not tackle these issues comprehensively and together, we will always continue to have this license breaches that companies are enjoying, and then to some extent, the state institutions are not making them do so. You know what I mean? I know you know, and we all know that the power play between these companies and that of us as a people and our institutions is imbalanced. And so that is why you can find a situation where people are negotiating with the company on a particular law. When the company, we don't want to negotiate any other compensation other than what was determined by that committee. So for that reason, we will get government, and actually they got government, to do their bidding. So the power imbalance, even if we look at it between companies and our own state institutions, is not balancing very well, when we call it that way. Then you can now think about it between the company and communities, where you have companies with all the experts that you can think about, and they don't go for any meeting without experts. You go to every meeting with their experts and people who are highly profiled in the area. They go to meet you and I sitting in our village who don't even know the reasons why they are here. All they tell us is what we should expect and what we are going to get. And so if I am the one negotiating for you, I'm the one on the negotiating table, then they are the ones responsible for my team, my everything. I don't know what proposals that they will make that I will be sitting down looking at the interests of the people. As these people said at the conclusion, people should look at what the overall interests of the people than their personal, for the purpose of some other interest. That's just a brief of what I want to respond.
Okay, thank you. one John Mensah resigns, another John Mensah is seated here. John Mensah.
Oh, okay. This is where that looks like the government.
This one, he will not resign.
That's good.
So, once again, after observing the video and also getting response from council, one thing I noticed is that failure of the negotiation between the mining company and the community or the farmers. Government forcibly acquire the land from the community or the farmers and give it back to the mining company. So in this case, can't we say that government is the main cause of the suffering of the community or the farmers rather than the mining company?
Well, I don't know if we could agree with that, but you can choose to say. I would say both. That is what I would say, both. Because they have all played their individual roles into the suffering of the community. One, the government has granted you a concession to go and negotiate a compensation with the people. The people have disagreed on the level of compensation that is being paid and want you to negotiate better compensation with them. You have come, left the other processes on the minerals and mining law that is not satisfied, or you think some people disagree, follow this process. You did not follow that process. You went on a different tangent, and the government to apply one, a different law other than the original law that the people were working with. So for your question, I would say I would put the blue square on the company and the government. And I'm sure from what we are saying here, we didn't mean words by saying that was the suffering. The suffering these people are suffering today is emanating from both company and government. And that is why I talked about the power imbalance in the equation here that we are looking at. That's what I can say for now.
I think it's well explained by director. You can't have one party benefiting and the other not benefiting, because at the end of the day, when the land was compulsory acquired, in whose interest? In whose interest was it acquired? Who has the land now? You want? Yes. So as he said, when there are provisions for you to follow, if you are not able to come to an agreement on the price, as we said, it says go to the minister for lands and natural resources. Any one of you can do so. That provision was not exhausted. All that we heard was, now you come under a new law, Land Act, that I'm taking over the land. You see, now it's like when it becomes compulsory acquisition, at the end of the day, they are taking your land in public security. So virtually both parties are benefiting. So you can't just say one has instilled. So both parties are. Both parties are.
Is any other? Any other?
So beyond this video, where can we see it? On your website or?
Yes, on our website. If you ask for it, we'll send it to you.
Okay.
But I want to put someone at the spot. One of our partner organizations is here, and she's from Media Foundation West Africa. I also want her thoughts and reflections on it.
In fact, I wanted to ask a question about another party to these issues, is the chiefs and grandmothers. And I wanted to know, I know that we have bad chiefs and grandmothers, but there are equally good ones who have influence on the community. I don't know how they come in here. And I believe with the advocacy we do, we can get them to be part of the committees or to be able to do the negotiations. I don't know